we haven't had the pleasure of meeting before, this is my wealth and wellness journey, and I share things such as healthcare and real estate. Real estate because I'm an agent and invest in real estate, and also I have a wellness background, okay, in healthcare. Therefore, I plan to help one person achieve their goals throughout this journey. And today's topic is actually talking about mindset. What is your mindset like? What is mindset, if you don't mind me asking? To me, I look at mindset as your self-discipline, what you believe in, what you focus on. So you can either have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. I share my stories because it helps me connect better with my clients and my patients as well. So growing up, I grew up around a lot of people who had these fixed mindsets. And it was always the negative, you can't, you won't. And that was limiting. And later on in life, I started exposing myself to things which would help me grow, and around people who had the growth mindset. And who were these people? These people, I had to learn about them in books, meeting them in seminars, and also the people, the friends and my circle I associated with. It's very important that you start associating with the right people with the right mindset. Because like they say, to the average of the 5 people you associate yourself with. Some of the things that helped me actually change my mindset was also, it was a long process, okay? So changing from I can't to I can was a big thing for me, the visualization. So every day I started using positive affirmations. I'll tell myself 10 positive affirmations every day. I am strong, I am powerful, I am able, I am willing. I might not know how, but I am going to make it. So those things actually help empower me on a daily basis. I still do it to this day. I encourage you to try it, because that's a great habit to start. I was accountable with who I associated myself with. It's not them, it was actually me. Because initially I used to say, oh, they're negative, they're this, they're that, and blaming them, but I took the responsibility away from me. And until I had to take my responsibility back, that's me taking my power back. It was me, it wasn't them. So with that, I made sure if I had to associate with certain people, I knew exactly what to say and what not to say. Because I knew if I brought up a good topic to such people, I knew exactly what they were going to say, something negative. And I remember this clearly because the last straw was I had this big goal of starting my real estate business. That was about 5 years ago. And when I told this particular person I was going to start my real estate business, and I didn't have the money, I didn't know how, I didn't have the experience, but I had a dream. Do you know what they told me? All they said was, you can't do it. You don't even have the money. Nobody can help you. You're a foreigner. Nobody knows you here. How are you going to make it? And I had to prove them wrong. I was very invested in my goal and my dream. I wanted to make sure that anything I had to be positive. So please make sure that when you mention your goals and your dreams to all these people around you, they won't say yes to you. They might not support you. In fact, most of them might discourage you. But if you know that that's your goal and your dream, please continue cultivating that goal, because only you will bring it to fruition, not them. That goal is yours for a reason. The other thing that helped me was having a plan. And with a plan in place to fulfill those goals. And a SMART goal, you may ask, what is a SMART goal? A SMART goal is, it has to be simple, it has to be measurable, it has to be attainable, it has to be realistic, and you have to put a time limit. I used to dream, I want to get a house. I never had a time limit until 2013. I remember I prayed every day. As soon as midnight came, in 2013 actually, I remember this vividly. As midnight, everybody counting down, midnight to 2013. My goal, as soon as that clock went to 2013, my goal was, I am going to get this house this year. God helped me. I didn't know how, I didn't know when, but I knew it was going to happen in 2013. So every day, every morning, me and my two kids would kneel down on the side of the bed, pray, God help us get a house this year. Seasons changed, the summer passed, okay, close to the fall, right before my kids started school, August 1st, something happened. Something scary, one of my fears showed up in real life. Can you imagine seeing a snake rolled up in the back by your back door, and you have two toddlers inside the house? Everything I thought of went out the window. I remember just running, grabbing my kids, and running out the front door. I remember telling myself, Grace, this is a sign. God is telling me I need to run out of this house and never come back and go find a house. But then, on the other end was, okay, Grace, I'm going to leave this house. Where am I going to go to? This is the only apartment, literally, I could afford at the moment. As I contemplated, a few days passed. I lived with a few friends, trying to get everybody's insight. I asked God, I was like, you know what, God? If this was your sign, I need to have a better sign. Show me a better sign whereby I will not stay, regardless of how I want to stay. God did not waste no time. Do you know on the 5th of August, 5 days later, we received an eviction notice that we had been evicted from our apartment. Now, don't look at me like that, thinking I did not pay my bills, okay? I was one of the great tenants, you would call. I paid all my rent on time. In fact, I paid before time because I had already paid my rent. And when this eviction notice came, I was concerned, I was confused. I didn't know what to do. Can you imagine? You already paid your rent. You're thinking, okay, I have this month figured out. My kids are gonna start school, and then I'm gonna move on with my life, and everything's gonna work itself out. But right after that, before my kids start school, I received this eviction notice. I didn't have family here, okay? So I'm living with friends, and something about me, I do not like to be a burden to people, especially having little kids and living with other people, especially friends. I wouldn't like to overwhelm my friends. So this was really a hard time in my life. And once I received the eviction notice, that was a good indicator that God gave me 2 visions and also 2 signs, which I had already asked for, and I got. And I made sure that whatever happened, I was going to get that house that I had already prayed for. A friend of ours helped, and we stayed with them for 3 months. And in those 3 months, I did everything that I needed to do to make sure I got into a home. And as luck would have it, November 30th, 2013, we got into our first home. Wow. you see, if I didn't have a time limit, I told myself I wanted a house so many years before that, 5 years to be exact, before 2013, but I hadn't put a time limit to it. So make sure you put time limits onto your goals, and they have to be realistic to you. And sometimes asking for help, because I didn't know how, but I did ask for help. And through that, I was able to get into my home. Being able to create boundaries. If you don't know what I'm talking about, maybe this applies to you. Boundaries such as, I was used to every time somebody asked me for something, Grace, this here. Grace, can you do this for me? Okay. Yeah. Always adding more to my plate than I could handle. And until I had to start setting boundaries. Using the word no. N-O, it's a full sentence. And sometimes you might think, okay, no is rude, no is cold, and no is unacceptable because it's going to hurt somebody else's feeling. However, the more you keep telling yourself yes to everybody else and no to you, guess what that does to you? Your goals are not going to be fulfilled. Okay, you're always telling no to yourself. So how are you going to be able to fulfill those goals? And then you're telling yourself that you're not good enough. Because everybody else is more important than you are. You're not prioritizing yourself. And it's okay if other people don't like you after that. So long as you know it's being genuine and you're being authentic and true to yourself, it's okay if they don't like you. It won't be okay if you don't like you. So how do we change our mindset, you may ask? We change our mindset by first, you need to have a plan. And then you need to put that plan into action. And the way you do that is by setting those goals. Okay? So make sure, plan, action, and have the goals behind it. Because then it'll help you, lead you into the right steps. And don't start off on step 10 if you need to start up at step 1. It's always about baby steps. Everything adds up. Everything amounts into a bigger thing. It might not seem like something important right now, but eventually down the road, it will help you get that goal accomplished. Because so long as you're actually moving in the right direction, you're still doing something. So, and I know some of you out there saying, Grace, I'm too old. I can't change. Okay, let me tell you something. It's everything is up here in the mind. It's what you're telling yourself. If you feel like you're too old, nobody's going to tell you any different. Everybody is capable of learning and growing. It's up to what you actually tell yourself. And the other thing I hear most of is, Grace, you say all these things, it's easier for you to say and do, right? Wrong. We all have the capabilities. If you put it in yourself that you can, I bet you can. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So change the way you look at things. Let me tell you something. It's never anybody's fault. And most of the time, we get crippled in that blaming mentality. It was my daddy's fault. It was my brother's fault. It was my sister's fault. Everybody's fault. But not our fault, right? I can tell you, it doesn't matter whose fault it is. If you was in the room, you was a part of the problem or the solution. So I had to learn that for myself and start taking an inventory of everything that ever happened to me. And if I wanted to get better and do better, I had to accept the part I ever played in each and everything. And instead of blaming, I had to have empathy. on everybody, however much. It was hard though. It was hard. But I had to learn to have empathy. And then I had a journal. I say saying, forgive me for forgiving myself, for holding grudges, for blaming, for victimizing myself, always thinking I was the victim. They did this to me. How about they might have thought that I did something to them? So forgiving myself for holding on to so much hurt and letting things go. Okay? Because you have to let it go. It's not anybody's fault. It's here. What are you going to do about it? So please, focus on changing that mindset. If this episode has helped you or anything I've shared has helped you, please do not fail to subscribe. And I'm hoping you can continue on this journey with me, because our goal is to help one person so we can get from where we are to where we need to be. And until next time, I hope you stay blessed.